Howdy. So, okay, so I was like, I got my results from the doctor, and I ended up having a knee injury I'm going to have surgery for. And first, when I first found out, I was like, oh, devastated, you know, and then I thought about it. And when I have a story, because like when I was 18, I worked at UPS, and I ended up with an injury working there that the doctors had given me permanent restrictions, and they said I would never be able to lift or pull anything over 30 pounds. And you know, I went from there. I was like, okay, you know. And then like shortly after that, you know, after I did all the doctor's things, and you know, I just been living my life, my brother comes to me, and there was like a patent creation tournament coming to town. It was like coming here, it was like a national tournament, and he said, I think you should do this, I think you'd be really, really good at it. And I was like, you know, I had the injury, and I was like, oh, I don't know about this, but I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. So I go to nationals, you know, wearing my back brace and stuff, and I end up doing some matches with my back brace, and you know, I'm winning, and they see the back brace, they tell me I gotta take the back brace off. It's like, oh god, I gotta take the back brace off. So in the finals, I take off my back brace, and I, you know, kind of wobble out there, and I was like, oh god, here we go, and I end up winning nationals, right? And they end up asking me to go to a world tournament over Athens, Greece, and to represent the United States. I was like, okay, so I take the challenge, right? Here I am, you know, with these restrictions and all this stuff from these doctors, and I choose not to believe that. And I remember that I just kept pushing forward, and I started doing, you know, Kempo karate and American Jiu-Jitsu, and I just started training for this world tournament. And I ended up going and winning a world title, you know. But end of story would be that I overcame that, and I got to the point where I could lift 300 pounds. I could deadlift 300 pounds. So, and I worked my way all the way up to being totally released at full capacity, and I just didn't give up, and I remember that. And so, you know, when I first got this news, yeah, I was kind of, you know, devastating at the, you know, the timing of it. You know, here I was really, really trying to get, pushing to get, you know, that fight that would land me a shot at the title, and I finally get it. You know, Victor calls, and they give me the fight, and it's like the biggest opportunity that I've had in my fight career, and I was so excited about it, and you know, I say yes to it, and then shortly after that, I end up injuring my knee, and oh man, it was devastating to me at the time. And I was like, well, but I was like, maybe it'll be okay. Maybe it's just hyperextended. So, you know, I rest, I ice, and I'm like, okay, you know, a few days go by, and, you know, come the, you know, 5th, 6th day, I'm trying to get in the pool and work my leg out, and I'm like, and then icing, it's like, and then, you know, it's not getting any better, to say. So I was like, okay, something's really, really wrong here. So it was kind of a hard thing. You know, so I got a hold of, you know, Shannon, and from Invicta, and I told her, you know, I don't think it's fair if you'd hold out, go ahead and find a replacement. I'm going into, you know, emergency room, and I'm going to try to get an MRI to see exactly what's wrong, because something really, really wrong with my knee. I can't fully extend it, you know, and but it ends up, you know, I end up having a actual ACL tear in my knee, along with the, you know, but it ended up being good news in a way. So I ended up having something really, really wrong with my knee, and that I have to have surgery for. So then I was like, oh god. And at first, you know, like I said, I was kind of devastated with this, you know, with this news. But, you know, like I said, I thought about that story, and it just totally changed me. I didn't give up. It's like, see, even like I had another story, and it came to my mind, and it was like how I got this scar. And I was like sanding some floors. This is what I used to do with my dad, and I reached under the chop saw, and the chop saw stops in my hand and almost cuts like my thumb off, right? And Dad just looks at it, wipes it off, we put a bandage and some tape over it, and said, all right, keep working. So here I am, like laying some floor, you know, hitting the hammer, and blood's gushing through the pad, you know, the gauze and stuff, and it's like, and now I have a scar, right? You know, probably could have got, you know, some stitches, which I didn't, and but you know, I still have full function of my hand is the point of it, and I can climb ropes. I have really good strength in my hand, and I do have a scar, which is kind of the inspiration behind my song that I wrote, you know, a warrior. And you know, in the song I say, you know, my scars tell a story of pain, of suffering, of loss, of triumph and victory and love. And you know, oh, my scars, they tell a story of how I became a warrior. And I believe every warrior, if you ask them, they'll have like a scar and they'll be like, oh, I have a really huge story that goes with this scar. And you'll be like, you hear the story and you're just like amazed by what they went through and how they overcame it. And that's really the inspiration behind my song. And just like this injury, I'm gonna overcome it. And even, you know, it's like, I remember when I went out to Poland and I competed in another world tournament out in Poland, and I remember there was a guy there, and he only had one leg. He was competing in MMA and jiu-jitsu, and I just was amazed by him. But the thing was that he adapted to what he had. So, you know, no matter what happens with it, you still be able, just like my hand, I adapted to what I had, and although maybe I don't hit and grab the same as I used to, I still can, and I'm still good at it, and I'm still able to keep going. And I think that's the story of a warrior. And no, I don't believe that God allows things to happen just so you can share your story, but I think when things do happen, if you share your story, it could help someone else. So it has purpose and meaning to me in that perspective. So I'm going to try to keep you all updated and what's going on with me and my full recovery, and I plan on, you know, staying active and keeping going and returning to the cage as soon as possible. So I thank you all and hope you have a good day, and hopefully that made sense.